What's going on, everybody? I'm relationship expert Terry Duran, and today I'm going to be talking about the different mindsets people have towards dating and relationships and how it impacts their dating experiences. So I'm gonna give everybody a minute to get logged in. Those that are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my page. Give me a thumbs up. Those of you that are watching on Instagram, show love. Tell your friends about it. Tag my page. Let them know where they can access the content. Because I put the content out to actually help y'all. Try to help clarify some of these myths that y'all believe in, some of this illogical behavior or this counterproductive behavior. All right, so today's topic, I'm going to be talking about the different mindsets that women have and have towards dating and how they actually impact their dating experiences. So I have four primary mentalities that I observed that pretty much prevent women from experiencing relationship success or reaching their relationship goals. So the first one is the woman that feels like she's just determined to prove that she's not wasting her time. She's fed up with dating. She has a negative perspective of dating, etc. So she's not wasting her time. She's trying to make it very clear to whoever she's dating or meets that she's not wasting her time. And her problem is she's overly anxious to get in a relationship, right? And so she really never lets interactions with men develop into relationships. She's so anxious to get a confirmation on whether it's gonna work or not, and usually though she's expecting the answers to that question extremely prematurely, because that's something that you can't figure out on it. You can't just look at somebody. You can't download an app. You can't. You know what I'm saying? There's no shortcut to figuring out if you're compatible with somebody or not. Because in order to determine long-term success, you got to be compatible on lots of different levels. And it takes actual experiences to be able to see how people handle different things. How they handle conflict, how they handle disappointment, how they handle feeling jealous, how they handle when they misunderstanding, where they felt disrespected. How do they, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to see how people operate and handle different functions. And a lot of women never let their dating situations develop to that point because they're so anxious to be told up front what's going to happen that they ultimately open themselves up to get played by fuckboys. Because that's their specialty. They specialize at telling chicks what they want to hear and giving them hope and etc. And by the time you wake up and realize that he sold you a dream, he didn't hit the pussy already. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's driving your car already. You pregnant already. Like, it's usually too late. So the second one, the second type of mentality that I see is the woman that believes that she's just going to completely eliminate the possibility of ever getting her heart broke again. You know what I mean? And that's a very flawed mentality, because if you never open up to somebody or you never make yourself vulnerable, you're never going to experience love. You're never going to experience the emotions that come with dating and relationships. So heartbreak is a result of the disappointment that you experience when something you just thought was going to last doesn't. Somebody when you used to love from the bottom of your heart, your feelings changed. You lost respect for somebody that you've been knowing for years and used to respect a lot. Like, those are the things, those are the components of the heartbreak. And it's impossible to avoid that. Anytime you build a quality relationship, a relationship where you telling somebody your business, where you talking about your past, where they know your family history, etc., and y'all fall out and y'all lose that relationship, it's gonna hurt. It's the same thing with best friends. It's the same thing with that coworker you used to be so cool with. They got a new job and had to move to a different state. Like, it's the same type of, you miss a connection that you had with somebody. It's just a little more intense when you fucking them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it's somebody you're sexually involved with, obviously the romanticism and those feelings that come with being romantically involved with somebody play a part. But it's essentially the same thing. So it's impossible to ever avoid that part of it. if you meet somebody that you like and you enjoy talking to them and hanging out with them and going out with them, even if y'all don't fuck, if you just immediately lose contact with them and no longer get those things that you really enjoyed, you're going to miss it. And if you ever get to the point where you care about somebody, where you have an emotional connection to them, you are inevitably opening up yourself to potential heartbreak. That's just how it goes. That's the risk associated with dating. You have to assume that risk in order to get in the dating arena. And the women that have this mentality where they're not willing to accept that risk, well, they never really open themselves up to actually date. They try to control situations. They try to get in guaranteed situations, and that's impossible to do. You can never predict what's going to happen between you and somebody else. All you can do is go about it the most efficient way possible. Pay attention to the things that really matter. Pay attention to red flags or things that are potential problems. Get more information about them. Don't just operate off the assumption. Like, a lot of people miss that step. A red flag don't mean that you have to end the dating experience. It means gather more information, find out the cause of the red flag, get an explanation for the red flag. Not just cut somebody off because you identified something that you don't like. The next mentality that I see is cheat proof in a relationship. The women that do make it to the relationship stage, they feel like they're going to come up with ways to cheat proof the relationship, to guarantee that they man will never cheat on them. And that's problematic because that's a sign of an insecure mindset. You're trying to go through his phone. You're trying to get all his passwords. You're trying to do all these things to be able to play, FBI on somebody that you claim to trust. That's not going to work. That's going to create tension and chaos. That's going to have you in your feelings. That's going to have you overthinking and overanalyzing information that you get from spying on him and going through his shit. So that doesn't solve the problem. That opens the door for a whole new set of problems. And just FYI, most men don't respond very well to being investigated by women. That's something that's very annoying and will get a woman cut off. Going through his stuff. I know Cardi B got a song going through your phone on her album. Shout out to Cardi. Just on a side note, her shit's jamming. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not a Cardi B fan, her album's jamming. But anyway, that type of stuff opens the door for more insecurity, more problems in the future. You know what I mean? Because it's a sign that you don't trust somebody and you took it upon yourself to violate their privacy, to investigate them or get your proof or evidence or whatnot. So let's see. The next mentality that I'm talking about is the woman with the all men ain't shit mentality. The woman that has this extremely pessimistic, negative perspective on men and everything associated with men. Well, that mentality severely inhibits a woman's dating potential because all she does is make negative assumptions about men, right? Now, one thing that is prevalent or present in all four of these mindsets is something that is called confirmation bias. And you can Google the definition for yourself, but I'll save you the time. Confirmation bias means that a person has the tendency to treat new information or evidence or experiences as confirmation of what they already think and believe. And we see this all the time when it comes to dating. Women that have these type of mentalities interpret male behavior that they feel confirms what they already know about men or already think about men. That's why so many women are always have these aha, I got you, I caught you type of moments when they see something that they feel represents what they think they know about men. And it plays right into their natural tendencies to make an assumption, treat the assumption like fact, and then react to the assumption. So all that chaos happens on a regular basis for a very large percentage of women because of their confirmation bias. It's the same way that women can read something that I wrote, right? Where I clearly articulate the male perspective, clearly break down what I mean, what I'm talking about, what I'm trying to say, and then they'll get in my comments. So basically, you're saying, and then name a whole bunch of shit that I didn't say in any way. That's what we're talking about. They're picking bits and pieces of the information out that match what they already think and believe, rejecting anything else that contradicts that or responded to it in a negative or harsh manner, or a negative or hostile manner. That's confirmation bias. And you also see it when somebody posts the shit that they love. When they post one of these silly love quotes that I'm forced to break down and bust the bubble on. So you see this type of when they see a post, especially from somebody famous or with a lot of followers that post what they think and believe already, round of applause, nothing but emojis, nothing but positive comments. I post something and use real world examples to spit the reality, show them how this shit don't make sense or don't represent the real world, and it's met with anger. You're lying, Terry. You don't know what you're talking about. But I'm the motherfucker that's married for 13 years, that's been extremely successful with dating, that has always met my relationship and dating goals, but I'm the one that don't know what I'm talking about. That's how these mentalities work. How a person views and processes information is very important. A lot of women are going to ignore the realities of a scenario. They'll ignore the facts if they want to believe something. And that's what men are talking about when they say women think what they want to think. Women will completely ignore facts and focus on and continue to believe in something that is fairy tale based, unrealistic, or not representative of what we see in the real world. Happens all the time. That's what makes my page interesting. That's what makes it interesting for men to see women trying to tell the world what men think and feel. On a page 100% dedicated to the male perspective. That's hilarious from a male perspective. Telling us what we think, telling us how we feel. That's not indicative of it. Now, I'm explaining to you how we think, how we operate, so that you can apply that to the things that you see in the way that you see the men that y'all date operate. And you'll see that most men's thinking is pretty consistent with how men in general think and operate. We're very simple, very basic. Focus on simplifying things. Focus on avoiding problems, avoiding drama. All these mentalities, if you just sit back and break down every post, you'll see all those things in every single post. Something that creates a problem because it goes against one of those principles that I talk about, how real men and quality men operate. And that's why the women that think they know it all, think they know how every man think, use assumptions to make their decisions, uses assumptions to make their dating strategies, usually don't have much dating success. It's their mentalities that's causing the problem. It's how they interpret male behavior. It's the biases that they already have towards men. The assumptions that they already think once they experience confirmation bias. They see something that happened in the past, they automatically treat it as if it's guaranteed to happen again. This is the type of stuff that we see happen every day. So I just wanted to break down how a person's mentality is very crucial to the dating experiences that they have. You know, when it comes to the dating mentality that most men have, it's a lot more simple. You know, men are not pressed to make a interaction with a woman turn into a committed relationship. He's not anxious to get engaged or get married to her. He's going into it trying to figure out if she likes him too. He wants to figure out if the attraction is mutual, or the desire to date is mutual. And then from there, he's trying to figure out if they're compatible or not. Very easy to do. Having the right conversations, going to different environments, being around in different settings, seeing how they interact with others, etc. All those things matter. The difference is, even if a woman demonstrates that she's somebody that a man wouldn't want to date long term, he'll still smash. He's already decided that he was willing to smash you before he ever took you out, before he ever got your number, etc. So that part is already decided on. If it happens, if you allow it to happen, he's gonna be down for it. If it don't happen, he's not gonna be devastated over it. It's not gonna ruin his life. He's not gonna jump off a bridge because of it. Just some pussy he missed out on. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So they're not setting themselves up to have these massive disappointments because they don't go into dating with the mountain of expectations. They don't expect her to fall in love and only date him and only, like, they don't have these expectations that women have. That's why you see men are a lot happier when it comes to dating. They're a lot happier when they're single because they're not running around with this mountain of expectation, and they're not ruining their dating experiences because of their own mentalities or their flawed strategies on dating like a lot of women are. So it's another attempt to try to help some of y'all steer the ship the right way. You know, help y'all avoid some of these common problems, these common issues that men bring up and have issues with. Because it's pretty simple when you actually break it down. So I appreciate everybody that's tuning in to watch. There's been another lesson from Terry Duran.